Hello everyone, my little peat monsters and spazzos. This is the abridged version of what's currently happening in the world. According to Nick, BLM and Antifa, let's just put them into the same bracket. They are both funded by Soros, and Soros is deep state. In turn, BLM and Antifa fund the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party in the States is deep state. So none of that is acceptable to us. The Democrats are the ones with all the states in America that are currently rioting and looting, because when Trump won the election and Clinton didn't, all hell broke loose. They just couldn't understand what the fuck had happened, despite the fact that they rigged all the vote-in ballots and everything else that they've been doing. Essentially, since Trump won, they've been doing everything in their power to get Trump out of office. Impeachment, Russian hoax, and numerous other things that they're trying to do, and masking General Flynn, all of it. It's all to do with getting Trump out of power because they're desperate. Because Trump is the rebel, the renegade. He does not listen to anyone. He does exactly what is morally correct. Let's get on to Trump. Trump is a good guy. I don't give a shit what perspective you've taken, and if your perspective is based on MSM, then you need to readdress it and go and do some more research, because I promise you, I've been watching Trump since he came in office, and the guy has done more good than any president preceding him. And I mean, he has signed more executive orders in his 4 years than even Lincoln and Kennedy signed, and they were the other two only decent presidents the United States has ever had. So if you want to see what Trump has really done, you need to go and investigate all of his executive orders. Go and read them. He is stopping human trafficking. He's just done payroll tax reductions for Americans. He's just brought out Veterans' Choice, which was 4 decades in discussion. 4 decades. The man... And that's nothing compared to how many he's done. I couldn't even list them all off the top of my head. So before you slate Trump and decide he's the bad guy, please go do some research. Because I promise you, all I do is research. Trudeau, Canadian Prime Minister, is a bad guy. Trudeau's wife took backhanders for allowing a firm to get $500 million in grants. She got $500,000. Now, Trudeau's was investigated on this, and if you watch the interview, you will see exactly what a slimy, paedophilic fucker the guy is. He makes no bones about how corrupt he is. He has no qualms about it. Race wars. Race wars were initiated by Soros, but they were always in the making, because Soros funds BLM and Antifa. They both fund the Democratic Party, remember. Soros, the Democrat, BLM, Antifa, everybody is deep state. So essentially, you should just take it that deep state is everybody that is causing a ruckus in the world at the moment. Everybody who is doing anything negative or adverse to our well-being is causing a ruckus in the world. They are all deep state. And the reason we look to American politics at the moment is because there is no politics going on in the world that is not now governed by or guided by or falling into line with American politics. So if you'd have noticed, America was the first beta testing ground. So basically all the shit's going down there. Now they've gone to Australia. Australia is now a new beta testing ground. So basically what they do is they pick areas on the planet and they basically hit them with a whole host of crap that they plan on rolling out to the rest of the planet just to test. It's all testing. Everything's testing. And that's what's going on there. So the race wars were all initiated after COVID didn't give them what they expected. So that was their next stage of their plan. Virus. Let's get back to the virus, because beyond my conception, there are still people out there that don't even understand yet that the virus is bogus. There never was a virus. There couldn't possibly be a virus, because if there was a pathogen, how would they control it? And number 2, they need the media and the government to do their bidding. So they need to have no virus in play. Nobody in their right mind would release a pathogen they couldn't control. They can't control it. Second, why would they need a virus when all they really need is a test? If you tested everyone and you knew the 90% of the population would test positive for this thing, but it's already existent in their body, why on earth would you need to even release a pathogen? If it's all about figures and hoaxes and lies, you don't need it. There is no virus. There never was a virus. Now, just to clarify, because viruses do exist, whether they should be termed viruses or not, I very much doubt that. I would call them exosomes or solvents or What your cells are essentially doing is becoming toxic from your environment, and then they create the virus as a solvent to clean your cells out. The viruses contain RNA and DNA, and they are inert. They have no nucleus, they have no agenda, they have no anything. They're not looking for a host. It's inert matter. It's like you walking around shedding your DNA and everywhere. It's inert. It's not going to do anything to anyone. I'm probably carrying about 1,000 people's DNA on me now because I've been here, there and everywhere. It's not entering my cells and damaging me in any way. It's got no agenda. Viruses are inert, which means they are nothing. They are dead. They have to be inoculated into you and then get into your host cell in order to make changes. There is no virus. I'm just going to say that again. The PCR test is bogus and fake because now we've established that viruses shouldn't really be called viruses. They are exosomes. So basically your cells undergo some form of toxicity. Your cells then produce this virus, a solvent, an exosome, and they clean out. That's all it is. And they've termed it virus because back in 1918 during the Spanish flu, they weren't half asleep. They were with it. When the Spanish flu shit started, they had a brainwave. Yes, let's tell everyone diseases and viruses exist, and then we can inoculate, jab, and medicate everyone to death. And that's exactly what they did. So when I tell you that we have been lied to for a very, very long time, I am not just saying it. I mean we have been lied to for a very, very long time. So what you should be doing is taking everything you've ever been taught and take it with a pinch of salt, basically, that it's all crap. Our government's never told us the truth. Why on earth would they? It doesn't fulfill any agenda for them. They don't give a fuck about our well-being. And if you're still under the illusion that your government gives a shit about you, why on earth is alcohol and fags legal whilst all the things that could possibly enlighten you, expand your consciousness like marijuana, LSD, psilocybin, ayahuasca, everything else is illegal? It's not about health. They don't give a shit about your health. So let's move on to masks. Masks do not work simply because the pore size of the N95 mask is too big. The particle size of this virus is very small. So essentially, when you wear these N95 masks, what you're doing is incubating the virus. And literally, it's the only thing that's getting into you because it's small enough to pass through the pore size. So can you imagine you're putting a mask on that's not letting anything else in except the virus? Okay, I'll leave you guys that one to ponder. Okay, satanic pedos. Unfortunately, we don't want to know about this shit, but it exists. So the best way that, because I can't rationalize it in my mind that these many evil people live on this planet. So what I've now done is decided this planet is never ours. Or at least it was never ours first. There are other species on this planet. Deny it all you want. But there are. They've been here long before us. They seeded this planet and we have come from them. However, they live underground. And yes, you may laugh at Ike about the whole shape-shifting reptilian shit, but in the next 6 months, you're going to get proof of it. I promise you. You are going to see some mad-ass shit and you're going to sit there scratching your head like, dope. Because I'm telling you, there is more existing under heaven and earth than you can even imagine in your philosophy, people. Okay, monarchy. The monarchy are usurpers. Nobody on this planet has a right to land, property, or anything else. Everything here belongs to us equally. So how on earth the monarch has taken most of Britain and possibly the entire Commonwealth that they proclaim to own, that they've taken through violence, ravaging and raping, pillaging lands and people and places. Nothing belongs to them. Nobody owns land. It belongs universally to each and every human being on this planet. The monarchy is bogus. It's crap. It was all put in place, designed to fulfill all of the satanic pedos' agenda. That's it. So number 2, an easy way to consider all this is to think that we are an animal farm. So essentially we are humans being farmed for these satanic pedos. That's what we are. It's the easiest way to see it. Because once you consider how many children go missing a year and how much disgusting, diabolical, depraved shit is going on, your mind is going to blow. So the best thing you can do is just take it upon yourself that this planet was never ours. It makes it a lot easier. And then you can reconcile it a little bit because then you think, okay, well fine, they put this planet into play. They wanted to farm us. They've done it. Now we've wised up to it. Now we can change it. Celebrities in Hollywood. Okay, Hollywood is a pedo den. It was never about making movies. Hollywood is a satanic pedophile cult. The movies are the byline or the excuse to draw people into it, because people will do a hell of a lot of shit just to be famous. And unfortunately, there are people that will sell their kids into that shit if they're guaranteed fame and stardom and money. I'm sorry to have to put it like that, but there are. And now we're witnessing this. So the only reason we're witnessing all of this is because I keep telling you people this, the planet's vibration has increased. Once the vibration has increased, excuse me, everything's increased, the frequency of everything has increased, and this is why everything is now lifting up and removing itself. So essentially everything that we before could not see has now become very, very self-evident, only because the planet's vibration has increased. Therefore all negative shit which resides at a very low vibration has to now exit the planet in order to make way for the new. Get me? So what you are witnessing has always existed, except now you are seeing it. Because I promise you, I've been telling people 15 more years about this shit, why I've been fighting, an activist, all the rest of it, and educated myself, blah blah blah, and made some case law. I did a lot of shit basically in my 15 years. So basically that's what's going on. So what you have to do is keep that in mind when you consider how bad things look. Politics is a very complex subject, and if I start getting into politics, it's going to probably blow your mind. So what I will say is the politics that you should be observing at present is what's going on in the States, which I did say previously. Just watch that shit, because Trump, I can't emphasize this enough, he is a white hat. Please just look into what he's done. That's all you need to do. The deeds make the man, okay? If he is guilty of anything, it will all come out in the wash, I promise you. Because nothing that lacks integrity or is negative or dangerously low vibe can survive in the new vibration that will occur. Now, hashtag Pizzagate, Wiener's laptop, all of this, Hillary Clinton emails, Podesta, all of this stuff is all tied. Basically, there is a massive satanic pedophile global trafficking. I don't even know what to call it, because these aren't things I think about nor word or discuss ordinarily. There is a massive predation on our children, and that's why up to what is the figure, flipping 8 million kids a year go missing around the world, and they're trafficked from high damage areas, like places where they have like Haiti earthquakes. That's where Clinton's foundation went straight in and kidnapped shitloads of kids. That's what they're all connected to now. And then there were people linked to the Clinton Foundation who were removing kids out of Haiti, because when there's a war-torn or natural damaged area, they send their people in to take the children out, because what better place to take children from where they won't be spotted as missing? You got it. And that's what's going on. So essentially, I'm not going to talk anymore about that shit, because it's disgusting and I don't want it in my head. So basically, if you want to know about that shit, it's all tied. What's happening now is that Clinton was in front of Congress yesterday, having to talk about her emails, which she tried not to do, which she has deleted a lot of. And basically her emails are revolting. They're talking about getting kids delivered and blah 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 for all their disgusting depraved needs. But if you want to get more into that side of things, there's enough shit of it all over the internet. Just look up Fall of the Cabal and various things. It's all there for you. I'm not discussing that anymore. It makes me sick. Okay. What else do I want to say to you? What I want to say essentially is you must prepare yourselves for the remaining year, because throughout the remaining year there's going to be some fantastically amazing things happening and revealed to you. And I am talking about the shit you've been in denial for all your lives. I'm talking about the aliens. I'm talking about the UFOs. I am talking about tech you have never conceived of. I'm talking about some mad shit. It's all going to start getting revealed now, because whilst the negative momentum is easing now, because the reason why we have lived in such a sad state of affairs, if I start getting into the whole sort of law of one and ascension of the planet and everything, I'm going to be here for a very long time. Hi, buddy. But essentially, in the law of one, we are now in the midst of a harvest. So we are now moving from the Iron Age into a Bronze Age, from which we go to the Silver Age and into the Gold Age. So we are basically leaving behind all of these service. I call them service to self entities, because they are. Unless you are providing a service for others where your joy lies, you are providing a service for yourself. And all these people, Clinton, all these pedophiles, all these satanic cults, or everything, they are all service to self entities. And by that I mean, when they developed and came here, they decided to pursue the path of negative polarity, which basically means that they want to investigate only looking after themselves. That was what their soul's purpose was here to do. So what's happening currently is the soul service to self entities have all agreed to leave, and they will be leaving this planet because they know they've already lost. The fight's over for them. This is why the Democrats in the States are so damn desperate, and when you read what they're doing, it beggars belief. You cannot believe they are doing the things they're doing, and they haven't yet been banged in prison. But with Obamagate going off now, with the Russian hoax and the unmasking General Flynn and Clinton's emails and everything going down now, they will end up in the nick. It's taking time because Trump is now dealing with an election. So when you hear about Trump and he's going on about vaccinations, wearing masks and the rest of it, you've got to remember he is appealing to the silent majority. So he's going to do and say things that he's not really standing by. But I promise you, once he's back in office, and he has to get back in office, because if you don't wish Trump back in office, you are wishing hell on earth. Because if the Democrats, Biden gets into office, hell will break loose on earth. The new world order will be... Trump is literally the one guy standing between them and us. I mean, we all stand for ourselves as well. But for this time being, Trump is important. Okay, so... the only other thing I really want to say is you don't need to be worried. I literally want to express this to you so importantly. There is one job all of you have to do, just one. And it literally is this. Wake up. See the light. Hold the light. And raise your vibration as high as possible and keep it there. Because I know you all are afraid. I know you all are getting scared because of the stories in the media. I get it, because I've been there and seen that. But now I just laugh at everything, because it is scaremongering at its finest. It's their currency. They cannot bring about anything without our compliance. You get me? They cannot do anything without our consent. And what they're trying to do is manifest their nasty reality through our fears. Do you understand? They present the picture, we look at it, we get afraid, then we, lo and behold, manifest that shit into our reality. Law of attraction. Check that out. Because you're all holding this low, fearful vibe, you're going to attract it to yourselves. Let it go. Because once you guys raise your vibration, and the planet raises its vibration, because we are tied to the planet. Check the Schumann resonance. Our brains are resonating at 7.83 hertz, so is the planet. We are germane to this planet. We are connected to her. She gets sick, we get sick. You get me? So what you need, and this is why we get sick, because every time we have got sick, when it was 1918, it was the Spanish flu, it was sonar, radar. 1944, Hong Kong flu, it was radar, the other one that I didn't mention. 1968, we got sick, and then in 2019, we got sick. Every single time, they've electrified the earth. By doing that, they fuck with the Van Allen belt, and they mess with the frequency, we get sick. You get me now? But because they're clever, they've tied it to viruses and disease and fathomed a way to fucking bilk us for money and then make us sicker and keep us apathetic. Because remember, they don't want us to have any entheogens, I call them, things like psilocybin, LSD, mushies, anything at all. Because once you open your pineal gland, decalcify that, and you awaken, you can't be controlled. Because that's when you realise what your true power is. And you're not this. You're not this human form. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. This is your mask suit. This is your human flesh suit. That's all it is. Once you go from here, you will expand back and be reabsorbed back into bliss. All of this is bogus. We are living a lie, I promise you. So all you have to do, and take this to the bank, is just up your vibration. You literally have to do nothing else. The universe will attract to you that which you resonate with. You understand? And in terms of that, let me tell you a story. And you can check this story yourself, because everything I tell you is verifiable and checkable. I never want anyone to take my word for shit. Okay, there's a woman called Cynthia Stafford. This is what got me started ages ago on my spiritual journey, because I read this story and I just couldn't believe it. Aside from the fact that I read Wallace Wattles, The Power of Think and Grow Rich. I can't remember, it was one of them, or it might have been Napoleon Hill. Anyway, Cynthia Stafford lives in the States. She's alive today. So her brother died and his 5 kids all went into foster care. Check her out, Cynthia Stafford. So she went to the social and said, look, no, I can't have my brother's kids in foster care. They're going to have to come stay with me. So all 5 of her kids went to her house. I'm conscious of how long this is taking, so I'm going to be fast. I bore myself. I expect I bore you. So basically, she sat down. All these kids came to live in her house with her kids. She had quite a few kids. So one day she sat down and thought she needed money. So she sat down, got a piece of paper, and she started writing down the figure of money that she would like to appear in her life. She wrote down $112 million. She wrote it down millions upon millions of times over a period of 4 months. She wrote it down. She envisioned where she'd spend it. She envisioned who she'd give it to. She non-stop obsessed about this $112 million. Non-stop. Okay, so 4 months later, she just stops dead. She even slept with shit under her pillows, papers and pieces and everything. She just stopped. 2 weeks later, the Powerball Lotto rolled around. Hey presto, it was for $112 million. She told everyone proceeding that week that she was going to win it. So, everyone thought she was a bit nuts. You would, wouldn't you? So anyway, following week, she sent her dad out to buy a ticket. Her dad went out to get a ticket. So, what do you think, guys? Did she win? Yes, she did. So now I want you to go online, look up Cynthia Stafford, Powerball Lotto winner, and go and see her story and how and why she did it. This is law of attraction working at its finest. But this woman is not just any ordinary woman. All her life she has been vibrating very high. When she was a kid, she used to give her allowance money away to people in need. And then when she got her money, she split it with her dad and she created a production company called Nefertiti or Nefertari Productions. And she takes on small people's movies and things, scripts that can't afford to get produced in big studios and things. She is an altruistic, philanthropic woman. She's a lovely woman. So get online and look up Cynthia Stafford, because this story is very important. Because once you grasp how much power you have to take and do what you want in this world, you will start to understand that nobody has any power over you unless you allow it. And on that note, I'm going to wind this up, because man, I'm boring the shit out of myself. Okay, so that's my info blast for today. I hope it helps you guys in any way, shape or form. If there's anything else you ever want to discuss or talk about, you feel free to message me or ask, because literally I've got so much knowledge in my head. It needs to come out. So if you want it, have it. It's up to you. Peace out. Peace out, homies.